The anti-vax community is raging at RFK Jr. after he endorsed, sort of, vaccinating kids against measles during a measles outbreak. Okay, so currently that disease is exploding in several states where there is a high amount of unvaccinated kids. Gee, that's unsurprising. In fact, one child died as a result. Okay, so now last week RFK Jr. got into some hot water by after appearing to downplay this public health crisis, leading to one staffer actually resigning. Tom Corey, who served as Assistant Secretary of Public Affairs at Health and Human Services, announced on Friday that he was done. Like, I'm gone. I'm out of here. All right, I'm leaving.
That's it. See you later.
Okay. Now the reason for Corey's departure was not given. Okay. But sources told Politico that the aide had become frustrated by Kennedy's muted response to the measles outbreak in Texas. So I remember talking about that, how he's like, well, it happens, whatever. People get measles all the time. So I don't really understand. No, it's not really a big deal. Okay. But apparently the backlash for that forced him to do something. Okay. In fact, on Sunday, he wrote an op-ed saying that vaccines not only protect individual children from measles, but also contribute to community immunity, protecting those who are unable to be vaccinated due to medical reasons. Okay. Now, he's right about that. But of course, that same op-ed goes in to push like vitamin A. Okay. So it's like, well, I mean, you could, vaccines do a great, good job at all this, but have you tried vitamin A? Okay. Now, that said, even that mild endorsement of, I don't know if I want to call it an endorsement of vaccines was too much for MAHA. Okay. And they saw this as a betrayal, which is amazing. Now, before I get into that, by the way, RFK Jr. has had a bit of a relationship with measles. Okay, it's complicated. Okay, and goes back to Samoa. All right. Now, back in 2021, he wrote that measles was not deadly and outbreaks had been fabricated to push people towards what he called unnecessary and risky vaccines. Okay. In 2019, he encouraged the nation of Samoa to do a bit of an experiment, right? That involved allowing a large group of children to not be vaccinated. What happened? What happened? Well, a measles outbreak killed 83 unvaccinated kids. Many of them happened to be very young. Kennedy claimed, I didn't have anything to do with this, okay? But in interviews with government officials, international public health experts, and local anti-vax activists, along with media reports, reviews of social media posts, blogs, and podcasts from the time, show that Kennedy and his nonprofit had tried to exploit an initial vaccine accident, which caused a lot of people to question it, okay? And then used that and exploited that to promote anti-vax information that may have cost lives. So yeah, that's his relationship with the measles, and the vaccine. And so hearing him say, "Oh no, yeah, vaccine, it'd be all right. Yeah, it works. It works. Great." Even after doing all that, okay. But MAHA looks at that and says, "Betrayal! How dare you?" Linda Catalina, conservative influencer, told her 35,000 followers on X, because of course, that Kennedy is, quote, no different than Fauci. Yes, Fauci. Or anyone else from the old Biden regime. You remember Anthony Fauci, probably worse than Bill Gates. That's what they're going to say. She said, RFK Jr. is already proving to be a fraud. Patriot Voice. Oh, you know this is going to be good. He's got nearly 150,000 followers on X, said Kennedy had just betrayed MAHA. So RFK Jr. thinks that it's okay to continue poisoning people with heavy metals. That sounds metal. And aluminum directly penetrating the blood-brain barrier. Something penetrated your blood-brain barrier, buddy. That is definitely not MAHA. In Vandersteel, who had celebrated Kennedy's Senate confirmation just 3 weeks ago, wrote on Monday, "What is going on here? Who is MK Ultra'd Robert F. Kennedy Jr.?" I'm sorry, I think of MK Ultra. I know what it is, but I think of Mortal Kombat for some reason. So somebody mortal. But I also think of Killer Instinct, which is another fighting game from the 1990s, which had ultra combos. So we got an ultra combo of stupid going on here in the MAHA movement. MAHA and MAGA and getting together to be like, to poo-poo on vaccines, right? That do save so many lives, that have saved so many lives. But there's more. There's more. An account known simply as the Health Ranger, not to be confused with the Red Ranger or the White Ranger or the, any of the Power Rangers, okay? But it's just as real, okay, as one of them said to his 282,000 followers. Again, this is all X, which is ridiculous. RFK Jr. is making it impossible for his own supporters to defend him, given that he's now practically a spokesperson for the vaccine industry. What? And of course, former kind of still political blogger, but now mommy blogger, Candace Owens, decided to chime in, saying, "This is absolutely wild. I'm thinking I might need to release the MMR episode of my Shot in the Dark series for free. Oh, yes, I'm going to remove the paywall. So that parents understand that this is not a safe vaccine at all. The combination of vaccines are the worst. Ironically, I learned this from RFK Jr. How about we stop taking health advice from cranks like Candace Owens and grifters, okay? Also Candace Owens, okay? Remember, during COVID, this lady was out there hawking the supposed benefits of taking colloidal silver, okay? Again, as a cure for COVID. So, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. No, let's not listen to these grifters. That said, okay, oh man, so RFK Jr. is promoting a vaccine. Kind of. Experts are wary, with good reason. In fact, Dr. Amesh Adalja, senior scholar at Johns Hopkins Center for Health Security, said, while he kind of gives some lip service to the vaccines, the fact that he uses phrases like personal choice is a wink and a nod to the anti-vax movement. They know he's their man. Well, I don't think they do know that he's their man because they're not really all that smart, okay? Yes, you can give a wink and a nod, but if you're too stupid to notice that, well, then I guess that's kind of a problem, okay? Dr. Molly O'Shea, a Michigan pediatrician and spokesperson for the American Academy of Pediatrics, said that Kennedy, the fact that he didn't, fully back vaccines is quote unquote concerning. He certainly did not disparage vaccination in the way he worded it, but he did not come out with a strong statement of support for vaccination. Vaccination is by far the most effective strategy at reducing morbidity and mortality from measles. That was not his go-to message. So, yeah. Look, they've got good reason to be skeptical of Kennedy. I already mentioned earlier, his editorial doubled down on the questionable treatment for measles, which is taking vitamin A. CDC has recently updated their recommendation supporting administration of vitamin A under the supervision of a physician for those with mild, moderate, and severe infection, Kennedy wrote, referring to the CDC, of course, which is now under Trump control. So you can't really trust it when they start saying things like, oh, vitamin A. Now, here's the thing, right? There are cases where vitamin A is given when someone has measles, but this is in places where, you have low-income countries where nutrition is a factor, where malnutrition happens, okay? So they might not have enough vitamin A. So yeah, in order to help them get to, normal vitamin levels, yeah, they'll prescribe some of that along with other treatments, okay? And again, that's in low-income countries. In the United States, most people have normal levels of vitamin A. So we don't need supplements. And that's what it is. It's a supplement. It's not a cure. In fact, here's the thing. Too much of this, experts say, is toxic. You can overdose on vitamin A. It's pretty easy to do, apparently. Now, Adalja of Johns Hopkins said that Kennedy's references to vitamin A only served to discourage the MMR vaccine among his followers. Quote, when RFK Jr. is talking about vitamin A, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's his code word, that we should be doing that and not taking the MMR vaccine. So, yeah. And now, as fun as it is to see RFK Jr. getting it from all sides, like, yeah, pro-vaccine people are like, don't trust him. Now the anti-vaxxers are like, don't trust him. Good. Good, because you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Look, no matter what you do, though, remember, MAGA and MAHA are, and all these people, they're not going to be happy until the floor is littered literally with dead children from all of these diseases that we would have, that we supposedly got rid of and had gotten rid of thanks to vaccination. Okay? They're not going to be happy until there's dead children everywhere. As long as it's not their own. Once that happens, once it actually affects them, and we saw this during COVID, okay, as long as it doesn't affect them, they're anti-vax. But once it affects them, once it hits home, then suddenly, a lot of them are like, vax, please. So, but until that happens, unless that happens, these people are going to continue to grift. Just like Kennedy. Because at the end of the day, grifters is all they are. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.